Major Garrett is in Manchester, New Hampshire now. Major, I'm curious, what's the reaction been like to the Moroccan video, both from the Republican campaign and from Trump supporters?
Well, from the Trump campaign, let's start there. They say this was 100%, even 1,000% intentional. What the Trump campaign says it wanted to do was demonstrate what would America look like if it had an open borders policy. So what they say is that Moroccan video, it doesn't matter that it's not on the U.S.-Mexico border. What matters is that it is endemic, or illustrative rather, of a problem that Trump campaign says it is trying to first highlight and then promises to counteract. Now, we've talked to several Republican campaigns running against Trump and asked them, well, do you think this gaffe is going to make any difference? To a campaign, they said probably not. Why? Because for Trump supporters, which are a sizable part of the Republican primary electorate, though not a majority yet, details are far less important than a larger message. And the message from Trump campaign has been, and this ad reinforces it, strength in the face of perceived danger. So details about video don't really matter. For Trump supporters, the message is what matters, and Trump is pounding that home with this particular ad.
So the Republican race has really been sort of heating up. We've seen constant insults in some of these speeches. We've seen attack ads out this week now. Do you think that this is going to be the norm between now and the Iowa caucuses on February 1st?
Absolutely, and this campaign has reached a very important and long-anticipated turning point. Look, campaigns communicate in a couple of ways. One is by how they travel, where they go, and why. What they say when they get there, and then what do they do with their ad campaigns. And ad campaigns are the most researched and poll-tested and focus group-tested aspect of a way a campaign communicates. And what you're seeing this week for the first time is Republicans now taking their focus group-tested and heavily researched television ads and putting them on the air to attack one another. Chris Christie is getting incoming from Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is getting incoming from Ted Cruz or those who support Rubio or Cruz. Rick Santorum is after Ted Cruz for his filibusters on the Senate, implying that he's not a serious person on national security. So all of these ads now are going to proliferate, become larger and more visible in number and in sequence. The big question for this campaign is, will it matter? There are times I've seen in presidential campaigns where the ads become so repetitive that voters begin to tune out. I don't think we've gotten to that stage yet because this is really the early part of the sparring between Republicans against one another. But there may come a point where those ads don't really work anymore, but for now, they feel fresh, they sound fresh, the lines of attack are fresh, and we'll see where they end up if they change poll numbers, if they change trajectories, either in Iowa or here in New Hampshire.
Major, let's talk about the Democrats for a moment. Bill Clinton's rallies were at capacity last night in New Hampshire. Could his campaigning win back the state from Bernie Sanders?
Look, so I would say a couple of things about the size of the crowds for Bill Clinton. They were sizable, but they were not in any way, shape, or form enormous or unprecedented. Believe me, in 2008, in the heat of the New Hampshire primary, when Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were going toe-to-toe, their crowds were much larger and much more enthusiastic. They were respectful, large for the person who was giving the message, Bill Clinton, but not unprecedented by any stretch. And Bill Clinton's message here was a much softer sell than he had in 2008, when he was a very enthusiastic, borderline hyperactive surrogate for Hillary Clinton. Back then, it felt as if there were times when he took the race as personally as his wife. Now he's much more reflective, talking about Hillary Clinton speaking on her behalf, not wanting to get in the way of her message or say something that he shouldn't on her behalf. He basically talks about stories of their life together and things that Hillary Clinton accomplished when she was never even in elective office. The question you ask, can Bill Clinton by himself win New Hampshire for Hillary Clinton? No, and the Clinton campaign would never suggest that. But what he can do is drive two things: activist involvement and media coverage. And while Hillary was in Iowa yesterday, Bill Clinton was dominating local media coverage here because he's the former president. His political roots started in Arkansas, but they were transformed here in New Hampshire. And the Clinton family name is as close to gold in this state as it is anywhere in the country. And so Bill Clinton certainly adds to that aura by being here in New Hampshire.
And we certainly ran that entire speech live here as well on CBSN. Major Garrett in Manchester, New Hampshire. Thanks a lot, Major.
You got it.